Hey everybody, so we're back. Spoiler talk for Marvel, Captain America, Civil War. I don't know why I gave the devil horns, because it's metal. That's why I gave the devil horns. This movie is fucking metal, dude.
There's a lot of metal in it.
God, I love her. But yeah, totally. So this is the all spoiler talk. I don't know how long this will go. There's a lot we are excited to talk about.
God.
So what's like the biggest thing that you're dying to get into? I'll let you start this one off.
My favorite thing is probably one of the smallest insignificant things in the movie.
Okay. All right. Say it.
It's the whole thing with Vision and Wanda.
Yeah, it's Scarlet Witch, yeah.
Because it was like, watching Vision trying to flirt is just so cute.
Yes, because as you know, I'm not super familiar with the comics, but I do know in the comics they definitely had a romantic relationship. We weren't sure if they were going to deal with that in the movies. They do kind of deal with that. Not heavy-handed. No. They're just kind of setting it up, and it's there. It's clear by the end that Vision is interested, and she's not saying no.
Yeah.
And that definitely plays into their relationship in the story too. Because there's that really sweet moment at the, again, all spoilers, at the end of the airport fight when they're like, it's so cute because like all these different characters, like when they kind of end their part of the fight, they're all apologizing to each other. But yeah, Vision and Scarlet Witch, like that was just really sweet. That he's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I'm sorry. And then, which then leads to fucking, you know, Iron Man and Iron Patriot going after Steve and Bucky in the Quinjet and Falcon's flying and Tony asks Vision to take down Falcon, so he mind gem blasts at him, and that's what takes out Rhodes' arc reactor. And then later Tony's like, what the fuck? And he's like, sorry Tony, I was distracted. And Tony's like, I didn't think you could get distracted. He's like, neither did I. So
of course,
that was awesome.
Okay, I would like to point out that if that blast had actually hit Falcon, he'd be dead.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a wonder that Rhodes isn't dead. But I do like that he did have paralyzation.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting because I've seen much worse happen to Stark, and he's still in one piece.
Well, Stark has the better suit, right? Like
he survived slamming into a sand dune in the original Iron Man suit. He should have been liquefied on that one.
Yeah, but I mean, again, and I don't know if we want to debate in the videos, but because that may open cans of worms. But I kind of feel like Stark keeps building bigger, better, newer armor. The War Machine armor seems to get minor tweaks, but with just more war, more, you know, like so I can let that go. But that was kind of cool that there were repercussions and that, you know, he is like paralyzed from the waist down. But of course, Tony Stark's building him kind of robo-leg things. I guess that's one surprise because I know in the movies, you know, like Cap died, or in the comics, Cap died. That's one of the few things I know from the comics. And no one, you know, again, spoilers, no one died in this. So that's cool. I'm okay with it. I don't think anybody needed to, but I'm surprised no one did.
Well, maybe because we're trying to go a bit of a different direction so that people don't know exactly where the future stories are going to be going. Yeah,
which let's jump into that too. Let's get that over with because that I'm loving. But I left this movie like, man, what the fuck? Like, where's the Marvel? No wonder they're bringing out like new characters until Age of Infinity War because, you know, I mean, it kind of left with everybody gets out of the jail, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But I mean, it left with like they're all basically criminals. Like the entire Avengers unit, other than like maybe Tony Stark and Vision and Iron Patriot, are all criminals. So that's going to be very interesting. And you know, the Sokovia Accords are still there and everything. So I'm fascinated by that.
Black Panther comes out before or after Infinity?
I think before. I don't know. You guys can tell us in the comments. I don't remember. We didn't Google all that. We're just too excited to start talking about it. But there's spoilers. The first post-credit tease is a nice little Black Panther thing where they're gonna put Bucky back in cryo freeze because until they can fix his head, he's worried people use him again. And it pans out the window and it's Wakanda and there's a giant panther statue and it's like, fuck yeah, give me that Black Panther movie because I'm sold on Panther. I feel like it could have been better if we had a Panther movie before, but I think we're okay that we didn't. I mean, you don't really miss it. I just think it would have been a little more impactful if we had, but still very, very cool. And, because his introduction and stuff's a little rushed. It's totally logical, but, you kind of get right to it. So
if you think about it this way, if you've basically broken up the Avengers, it might be a stepping stone of putting them back together in time for Infinity Wars.
Yeah, that's true. It very much could be, because who knows, if other people are going to show up in those movies. Like, I mean, we know, it's been confirmed that Iron Man's going to be in Spider-Man.
This is technically a Captain America movie, but it's practically Avengers 3.
And it's like the best Avengers of all of them.
Yeah.
It's way better than Age of Ultron. And I loved Age of Ultron. You know, I mean, Age of Ultron has its flaws, but this was like freaking amazing. And then it starts out like an Avengers movie too, because, you know, it is the new Avengers gonna go after this terrorist attack. Of course, you know, it's all this stuff about, oh, we were looking over here, they're really going over here, and it's to steal bioweapons and all this. And Crossbones, man, Crossbones is cool. And that's what I wanted to talk about in the other video, is he's very much he's like the most comic villain I think we've seen in the Marvel universe, but he kills himself. So, but it is important, and it's very cool how that happens.
Because the pneumatic fists that he's got on his armor are really nice.
Yeah,
and,
that was really cool.
But I'm sitting here going like, yeah, he blew himself up. Scarlet Witch did the best she could to contain him. I think she was trying to get him a lot higher up in the air before she lost control over the blast, but it just didn't happen that way. Yes, people died, but they were in the middle of a fucking marketplace. I can guarantee you there would have been a lot more than the 11 or 12 casualties they marked.
And that's a very good point that I wanted to kind of get into too, was no, I mean, and not that this argument would have changed anybody's minds, but I'm surprised nobody brought up the arguments of, well, you know, that's what we do, is we make those tough choices of, do you want us to let 12 people die, or do you want us to let 12,000 people die? You know, like, or 1,200 maybe in that case. And no one ever countered with that.
Well, I think what was that they did go off inside the building. That's where the Wakanda emissaries just happened to be.
Yeah. It's not a comic book
which is,
movie
you
or
know,
anything.
if, you know, had been just regular 9-to-5 business people, maybe they would have been able to kind of gloss over it.
Yeah, maybe. But
But
like,
the thing is, it's a numbers game, because the reality of the situation is that people gonna die.
Right, and I mean, they're saving more than, you know, I mean, even with this whole Sokovia thing, like, that's the only thing that annoyed me, but again, not at the movie, just annoyed me in the way it probably should, is that, you know, it's like, look, we're not saying that we're gonna save everybody, we're just trying to save the majority.
Yeah, and they did their best. I mean, they got the helicarriers up there, you know, and like, get off the, get going, go.
Right, yeah, exactly, and all that stuff, and it was cool seeing General Ross again, since we haven't seen him since the Incredible Hulk. Yeah. No red hulking out. I was hoping, but no red hulking out. It's sad too. It looks like Tony and Pepper Potts are split up, or at least for now, because there's a really kind of heartbreaking moment about that.
Just not available to shoot.
Well, I mean, maybe that's the case, but I'm just saying, in the story, you know, that's kind of what's going on. So that's sad. But he runs into this woman on the waiting for an elevator, and he talks to her, and basically it's one of those things where she starts blaming him because her son died in Sokovia. He didn't save her son. Now, again, this is the first instance in my mind that I'm like, ma'am, I'm sorry, it sucks. You know, there were lots of sons and daughters that were lost, but look at how many were saved. That's not what happened. Tony takes it to heart, you know, and he still can't admit that he is the bad guy, which is what's fucking kind of cool about this movie, is Tony is the bad guy. And he's finally kind of paying for it. You know, because he created Ultron and everything. Like, most of the Avengers movies are because of things Tony did. But, you know, so apparently it's all off screen, but then that's kind of when he worked with General Ross, and he's like, yeah, there needs to be an accountability, blah, 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 blah. Because basically then they show up at the Avengers compound, and they've got the Accords, and they want everybody to sign it, and they do all the, here's how many people died here, here's how many people died there kind of thing. So.
It's thick.
Yeah, it's pretty damn thick. And that's one of those things I'd love to freeze frame, is like the map of where all the incidents happened, because they only showed the incidents from the movie, so I'm like wondering if there's other little things that could be hidden.
Some of them may have been S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. Like, that might be kind of cool. And no Nick Fury. So we were talking about that before, too. We were curious if he would pop up. What's his role in the Marvel Universe right now? We don't really know. The villainy, like, Tony Stark is the bad guy in this. It really is, like, even Black Widow calls him on it at one point about his ego, because that's what's going on. It's like he's making, and everybody, like, other people are making that point, too. Like, he's making the decision for everybody. He's determining what's going to happen. I mean, he's the one that's like, no, you need to keep Scarlet Witch confined to the compound. It's like, wait, when did she become a prisoner? What the fuck? You know, like, that's all his call. And then all the Avengers end up in that Supermax prison thing, and it's like, what the fuck? Although it was really funny when Scott Lang, Ant-Man, like, tries to say something, they just kind of blow him off, like, but speaking of Ant-Man, Giant Man.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Of course, I knew this because of the pop figures and everything, but it looked incredible. Like, that was a thrilling sequence. just to
and
see
just
that
everybody's
giant.
reaction to him.
Yeah, everybody's reaction is fantastic. Tony, like, all right, anybody else got any super fantastic powers they've been keeping secret, they want to reveal now? And seeing Spider-Man whipping all around him. Oh my God, and how they take down Giant Man is so fucking great. Major spoiler, but Spider-Man is like 15 and he's fucking awesome. We'll get to that. But he's like, hey, did you guys see that really old movie, Empire Strikes Back? And everybody else on the team is like, how old is this guy? And anyways, he's like, you know how on the snow planet, how he took down those giant walking machines? That's how he took down Ant-Man. He starts swinging web around his legs and they shove him and he falls over and it's fucking awesome.
Didn't get the scene I was hoping for, which is Ant-Man and Spider-Man geeking out over something because they're both like so starstruck. They're like, oh, that's so cool! You're that guy! You're that guy! Oh my God!
Yeah, you got that from each of them individually, but just not at each other.
Yeah.
But that was really cool. That was really... Oh, and there was a lot of controversy when they cast Marissa Tomei, is it, as Aunt May?
Uh-huh.
And because everybody's like, she's so young and she's so hot to play an ant, blah, blah. Fucking Tony Stark, and I'm imagining RDJ was like improvising a lot of that. It's like that whole scene when he's with Aunt May, that's what he's all talking about. He's making all these references about she's really young and really hot and all this stuff. I thought that was funny. And they put in a line for Aunt May about ants come in all shapes and sizes, which I guess actually is kind of a subtle little Ant-Man reference too, maybe.
But actually she's age appropriate.
Yeah, no, she is.
If he's only 15, for her to be, say, late 30s, early 40s, approximately the same age as her sister or brother, whichever side of the family that was. It makes sense, a lot more sense than Aunt May being 60-something.
Right, well, again, and I think that controversy came from, we're used to that comic interpretation of her. I think that's where people were upset. I mean, it totally works in the movie. I'm just pointing out that because people were saying those things, that I think it's hilarious that they worked that into the movie. Yeah. So if anybody had any problem with that, they shut it down. And again, I think that's the Russo brothers doing that thing that apparently they do is they watch all the everything wrong with videos and all that. So they try to make it internet proof. So I think that's, again, one of those moments they're doing that and part of their brilliance. Spider-Man is fantastic. The introduction of Spider-Man is fantastic. His scene with Tony and like Tony knowing who he is and all that stuff is incredible. Or should I say amazing? Amazing Spider-Man. But it is really cool. The costumes are great. The explanation of the eyes and the goggles.
Yeah. Very
cool. I really liked that. There's a great little post-credit tag scene with Spider-Man. Make sure you stay to the end. I won't tell you what. I'll preserve that if in case you're one of those people that watches spoilers before they see it. I'll save you some surprise. God. Black Widow is fantastic. Kicking ass in this. Fuck. So much good stuff. Hawkeye's retired. The way he comes out of retirement is so cool.
Yeah. Black Widow's based, again, the peacemaker / conscience of the team, I think. Yeah,
that she is.
Well, actually, I guess technically Rogers is the conscience, but she's more or less the let's think this through, shall we?
Yeah, she's the calm, collected one. Rogers is kind of the moral center. And he's right. I mean, he's right. Whether it doesn't matter what team you're on, he's right in this movie, and Tony was wrong. Especially because that's the thing, and it's like, and again, no one really brought this up, but it's like, so the bombing, and everybody's like, oh, we saw a picture of Bucky right before, so everybody's like, oh, okay, go capture Bucky and kill him. It's like, whoa, where's like a trial? Where's evidence? Where's, like...
Because they're sitting here going like, we remember what happened the last time we had to deal with the Winter Soldier. But we don't really want to go through that again.
But I mean, I get that, like, like capture him and figure it out. But everybody's like, nope, just kill him. Just fucking kill him on sight. But that scene with Cap saving him is really cool. And then Black Panther coming to stop him is so cool. And the chase through the tunnel is fantastic. All that stuff is so good. And there's some great Bucky stuff in here. Like, there really is. The villain, Baron von Zemo. Now, again, comics, he's not a pure comic thing at all because he's very much just a human character. But I love what his plot was. And it was brilliant. It made sense. He's like, I wasn't going to destroy them because I've seen better men than me try and fail. I wanted to make them destroy each other. So you could crumble them from the inside. And it's going to have repercussions, they really... That fight was heartbreaking. And my God, the moment at the end, dude, when Cap is on top of Tony and smashes the helmet off, and you think he's gonna like smash down on his head, and Tony's like, oh, but he smashes the arc reactor, and you're like, I mean, I had that moment too, like, oh my God, no, like, don't go too far. Like, you got caught up in all of that. So Zemo was, that.
Oh.
Go ahead.
They don't put him in the ridiculous costume, thank God.
Yeah, I mean, that costume from the comics is pretty silly. I mean, Marvel probably could have found a way to make it work had they wanted to, but you didn't need it for this.
No.
This made a lot of sense. But again, it comes down to that selfishness thing of, basically it's a revenge plot because he lost loved ones in Sokovia. So he wants to destroy basically everything. It's like, do you guys not remember the million murderous robots that wanted to annihilate the entire population of planet Earth? Guess not. That's okay. But I mean, again, that's real though. That is kind of real. That people really think that way. So I can't really fault it. That is real thinking.
But again, this is the whole, but we did try to evacuate as many people as we could before
Right.
it plummeted back down to the ground.
And again, they did that again here too in the airport fight. Like, the airport fight's about to happen because they get the airport evacuated. And they're like, oh shit, Tony's here, so let's go fight. So, so that was really cool. The Ant-Man meeting Cap was awesome. I love Ant-Man. I need more Ant-Man. I'm so excited for it. It'll be interesting to see how they start up Ant-Man and the Wasp now, since he's kind of a criminal again. Falcon was great. Redbird was great. That whole thing where Black Widow was like, no, I'm not calling him that. I'm not calling him Redbird.
Come on, pet him, he's cute.
Yeah, pet him, he's cute. That was so fun. The use of the team's powers and how the team played together. Fantastic, man. I mean, we've seen some of that in clips, but again, there's a lot more of it than you've seen. The Spider-Man, Bucky, and Falcon fight was amazing, dude. It was amazing. Because Spider-Man's that part where he's pinned a Falcon to the railing. He's like, oh, your wings, man, is that some kind of alloy carbine, blah blah blah? And Falcon's like, you haven't been in a lot of fights, have you? There's usually not this much talking.
It's like, oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Bam.
okay, sorry, yeah, bam. Yeah, that was so cool. And the spider senses kicking in, the way those were working. Really excited for the Spider-Man movie now, because it was such a great version of Spidey. And they did a really good job, and I love him as Peter Parker too. I'm already sold and completely on board for all of that.
Yeah.
Oh God, so much good stuff. I'm just trying to. I'm still we do these. We come right out of the theater and we do these.
Yeah.
Maybe you go to the bathroom or something, but that's about it. So we're still processing everything. I'll probably do a rewatch when the Blu-ray comes out. Maybe I'll do another video, but it could have been half an hour longer. I'm satisfied, but I would have been happy to get more. So maybe there'll be some badass deleted scenes and stuff. Martin Freeman, his American accent, spot on. The Agent 13, Peggy Carter's niece. That is the same chick from Winter Soldier that was, protecting Steve next door.
Yeah.
So that was really cute. And they kiss, and it's kind of comes out of the blue. You're like, what? But I guess that was the first time,
Of course, and Falcon and Bucky are in the
my
car
God,
watching, and they're like, yeah, dog.
Yeah, that was so great. Oh, I love Falcon and Bucky. I want a Falcon and Bucky road trip movie, because they're in this little Beetle car, and Bucky's in the back seat behind Falcon. He's like, can you move your seat up? He's like, no. They don't like each other, but they have this brotherly dislike of each other. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle was great again as War Machine. He had some excellent points. And of course, at the end, he's like, I would still sign it despite everything that happened. But that makes sense because he's already a military guy.
Yeah.
He's used to going under orders. So, but it is really weird watching Tony willingly take orders and report to someone.
Sort of. Even he was taking orders, but at the same time, he was trying to kind of go, well, how about we do this?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he was. I think it's more. I mean, that it was
wasn't
weird.
like, yes, sir.
Right, yeah, no, but I mean, it's more that he was reporting to somebody.
Yeah.
He was calling him yeah, anything else, sir? Okay, yes, sir. Because he did say yes, sir, once or twice. I mean, it wasn't a yes, sir. But, there was still some of that. So that was weird, but it worked, it made sense.
Yeah, but that was more early on. But as the movie progressed, he kept kind of going I think I might just do my own thing.
Well, especially once Tony figured out, oh, wait, yeah, Cap was right, and this is a frame job and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, duh, you think you might give Cap a little bit benefit of the doubt.
But again, this pretty much, that was Cap's whole point. It's like, what if they want us to do the wrand thing? What if we think we should be doing this instead of that? What if?
Yeah, that was very spot on too. And then, and then it's cool the way Tony figured out, oh, I was wrong. And he actually says he's wrong and apologized. And I forget who to, but they were like, holy
Falcon.
shit. Yeah, Falcon. He's like, what? But then what was great was that Baron Zemo still had more plan and he revealed the surveillance footage that it was the Winter Soldier that killed Tony's parents. And, you know, especially the mom, and that's what set Tony off again, and then he wanted blood. He wanted the blood of both of them.
So,
I thought that was really cool and really emotional.
Think Zemo leaked the information that Friday got and gave to Stark about the what happened with the original psychiatrist being found dead and the prosthetics?
Yes, and actually, you know, I was gonna say that I thought that was weird, and that was a weird story point, that he would, why not just cover all that up and hide it? But now that you mention it, that's how that was his I guess that was his backup plan if the fight didn't work out, to continue the fight and to get them all there, you know, was to then give Tony some information that would make him want to go over there so he could then reveal the rest of the information. So that was cool, because they had like a MacGuffin of a threat of these like 5 more, even more badass Winter Soldiers, but they show up and Baron Zemo's already killed them. He's like, no, I don't want them. I just want you to watch this video and kick the shit out of each other. So, you know, crumble your foundation from the inside. And that was brilliant. That's a brilliant story, honestly.
Yeah. I
love that. And the more I think about it, the more I love that. And, you know, we kind of knew that Hydra, and we assumed Winter Soldier, I guess, had killed the Starks and everything. And as I was to say, they did a great de-aging of Robert Downey Jr. That de-aging was really stellar, I thought. And then it was cool seeing old RDJ with young RDJ in the same shot, since it was like this memory hologrammy thing. That was really cool.
Actually, I thought they were going to end up using that on Bucky.
Oh yeah, that could have played out interesting. There's
Vision
so much.
in street clothes is cute.
Yeah, all the Vision and street clothes stuff is really, really strange, but you know, it's just so odd and awkward. Oh yeah, like the when he walks through the wall in the beginning, and Scarlet Witch is like, Vision, I told you about this. He's like, but I saw the door was open, so I assumed. And then when he's leaving, he's like, I'll use the door. So that was really cute.
It's just so freaking adorable.
Yeah. And I like that a Scarlet Witch, you know, felt really bad about the people that died. Like, they showed that. They really took that moment to show that even though she tried to stop that explosion and get them way up in the sky, it still really affected her, you know, and that made people more afraid of her. Oh my God, how badass is she? The way she, like, pounded Vision through, like, 20 freaking levels of concrete and shit. That was amazing. Yeah. And all the Ant-Man stuff was great. Oh, I loved it when Ant-Man was in Tony's suit. And Tony's like, who's talking to me? And Ant-Man's like, it's your conscience. Hi, you don't hear me very much. That was awesome. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that whole movie was just really, really cool. I can see why everybody's saying it's the best Marvel movie to date, because it probably is. You know, I got a process, but it's going to be hard to say that another one was any greater. I mean, maybe Guardians of the Galaxy for certain reasons, but I don't know. As far as like the comics we grew up with, the mainstream Marvel comics, and a movie made of them, I don't think it's been any more perfect than this ever. Because there were moments in there I'm like, God, like, this reminds me of the first Avengers, those great moments in the first Avengers, but better. You know, like some of those moments, I'm just like, wow.
Yes, definitely the best one so far. But it's going to be hard to see how they actually top it with Infinity Wars, unless it's just the sheer character avalanche of, oh my God, did I just see, is that, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
And I think that's probably what it'll be, because as we've all heard, there's like apparently like a shot in the movie that has like 68 Marvel characters in the one giant shot. So I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to do, because as cool as it was to see all these characters come together and introduce these new characters, it's still going to be super cool to, like, imagine all that with, like, fucking Groot and Rocket and Star-Lord and Drax and all that shit running through there, too, and all the new characters they're adding, you know? And Doctor Strange and fucking maybe Daredevil and Luke Cage and all of them. I mean, like...
Howard the Duck.
Please. Even go back to do the Marvel one-shots. Give me some more Howard the Duck. I need that. That was actually really cool. And plus, I mean, Howard the Duck is a fun comic, actually. I've read a few of them. I really like it. But yeah, guys, I loved this movie. I'm imagining most of you did too. I'm sure there's going to be some people that it gets too overhyped for, and by the time you see it, you'll be disappointed because you waited too long. No, I don't know. I'm not going to blame you. To each your own, but I'm sure most of us just absolutely love this movie. And this is going to make some major money, dude. This is going to compete with Star Wars, maybe, because I have a feeling this will be one people are going to rush back to see a few times in the theater.
Also, he made, what, 200 million worldwide?
Oh, that's right. I'd already forgotten. It's been out, like, in the rest of the country, in the rest of the world for, like, 2 months already. Or 2 weeks or whatever it's been, you know. That's how good it was. It erased my memory of that fact. But, yeah, man. Yeah, I am really excited to sit down and do, like, a rewatch of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe thus far. This is a spoiler video, so we talk spoilers in the comments. That's totally fine. If people, I'm going to have it plastered all over the thumbnail and the title that this is all spoilers, so feel free. We can totally free chat down in the comments. Would love to know what you think, what your favorite part was, how much you love Spider-Man. Do the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Encourage me to do more. Subscribe to see the more I do when I do it. And I just like saying do, obviously. And
I'm marrying this.
I know, right? Lucky girl, lucky lady. And and you know, share with your friends so that we can all do together. I just can't let it go. So on that note, I guess before I get smacked for all the internet to see, I'm getting the look, I'm getting the eye. We'll get on out of here. She's so cute. And I'll see you guys later.